Today I'm excited to embark upon a new series of videos wherein we talk about a variety of decks that have improved like crazy since the new ban and restricted announcement cards are now available in Silver Age. Of course, if you don't know, Silver Age got a glow up, and one hero that got perhaps the largest glow up out of any that I can think of is Casai of the Golden Sands. You might be thinking, with Cash In coming back, what hero would get the biggest boon? And you may think Gravy Bones, but I'll tell you right now, I think it's Casai. This girl right here is already incredible, and she just got even better, and no one is playing Casai. Like, no one in this format in Silver Age is playing Casai. So today I'm going to give you a deck list that you can take and play at your locals whenever you want, whenever it's Sage Day. And I'll just trust me on this, she got so much better that you now need to have her on your possible play against list. Or maybe you're going to play her yourself. And if that's the case, well, then you have fine taste. So here's the list I want to give you that you can take and run with. Casai, of course, if you don't know, has the ability to banish 2 reds and 2 yellows from graveyard. And if you do, then the next time you attack with a weapon and it hits your opponent, then you get to create a gold token. And then she benefits greatly from gold token generation by discounting her sword swings. Cracking a gold is already incredible. For those that haven't run the numbers on cracking a gold in Casai, it's not just the normal numbers of pitching a blue, drawing a card to replace the blue you just pitched off of the gold, and then generating 1 virtual resource that wasn't there before, 1 resource. That's already really good. Okay, that's essentially a 0 card play that nets you a resource, and it could turn a blue into a red. It's even better in Casai because it's going to discount both of your sword swings. We are a dual wielding warrior. We pay 2 generally to swing our swords, 1 for each sword swing. And so if we can pitch a blue to crack a gold and draw a card replacing the blue, we've not just generated 1 virtual resource, we've generated 3 across 2 sword swings. So the amount of benefit that we gain from generating gold is massive. And now we get even more of a payoff because we can play Cash In. So we have now taken this hero who was already quite flexible and made her even more deadly. And that is really, really cool. And trust me, it's really good. And she's well positioned after this to really go toe-to-toe with just about everyone in the meta. She's solid into Guardians, particularly if they think that they can play Fatigue. She has 2 weapons that can basically just kind of extract value the rest of the game and mill them out of cards. We have a solid number of attack reactions in this deck, so if any deck is trying to play Xaxes with their blocks, you can punish them. We have ways to generate gold. We have ways to be aggressive. We have the ability to play into wizards and stymie their damage that is hard to deal with on the face of it. So this is a really, really good deck that kind of just came out of nowhere, or could come out of nowhere if your opponents aren't expecting it. So let's talk quickly about the equipment suite. We are doing the 1 Centauri Saber, 1 Hot Streak build. I've been playing Casai since she came out. I've made multiple videos on classic constructed Casai. I have very many opinions about this deck, and the way that I have played it is counter to some others out there, and I'm not saying that they are wrong. I'm just saying that I have found success myself playing it in a specific way, and I have always, without fail, run Hot Streak. Period, end of story. Hot Streak is fantastic. It is, in some cases, it is the way you win the game. Like, against certain heroes, they will almost always give you go again, so you are either going to hear them say no blocks, or they'll give you a piece of equipment and then you just attack react to give it go again already. So either way, you're winning, and in low life scenarios, your opponent has to give you go again oftentimes, so you can play flexibly to assume that they're going to do that because they can't do anything otherwise, or they will die, and then you can play your turn out in a different way. So there's a very high level of flexibility and a high skill expression with Hot Streak that Centauri Saber doesn't necessarily provide, but you still want 1 Centauri Saber because it will oftentimes receive the buff, particularly in this format. In this format, there are so many heroes that are going to be giving you the +1, or more importantly, giving you the go again if they block. And if they don't block, well, then you can give it attack react go again, or you can punish them by, pushing extra damage over the top. Okay, we have Deep Blue in the chest slot, and I kind of go back and forth between this and other things, but I've never come off of this. Like, in my mind, I think maybe it's better to play Blossom of Spring sometimes, but really, Deep Blue is just the answer, particularly in this version of Kasai that wants to run some number of draw swords. Okay, so those, by the way, are in the inventory for a reason. We'll talk about that later. But also, if you just draw a hand of reds and yellows and you realize, oh, I'm just going to play one of the standard 2-card, 3-resource turns out, and that's totally fine, well, then Deep Blue is your bailout, because you don't have to, rely on a red plus a yellow 2 cards to pitch just to make that 2-card play. Now you can sink one of those cards, and oftentimes you can just keep a card in arsenal because Deep Blue exists on the board. So this is way underrated, and you should consider it. We have Mercolier Helm in the head slot, and this one's interesting because for a long time before this deck, or before that piece even existed, it was just Hood of the Red Sands, and this is a really good piece as well. Battle Worn 1, attack reaction, it's a Kasai specialization. You can definitely play this, but I took it out because we do have the ability to have a temper block 2, and that is quite powerful. And it does take time to get this set up because you have to get the yellows and reds into the graveyard, and then you have to actually hit. But I have found that in most of my games, I am extracting the value off of this card and getting the requisite number of blocks. If you don't like this card, that's totally fine. You can actually just run Hood, or you could run the pen headpieces, the warrior equipment, of which I can't remember their names. I don't know why I can't remember their names, but like all of these ones, the Unity pieces, you could run Helm of Unity if you didn't want to run Mercolier Helm. Feel free, that is a totally fine play as well, and it would be pretty solid. I'm considering that going forward. Refraction Bolters, though, is a must. You should be playing this. This is a period end of story type thing. Okay, the main deck here is basically what I've been playing in CC for 2 years. Like, this is almost card for card. Outside of the Majestic power cards, this is what I've been playing in Classic Constructed, including but not limited to the denominations as well. This is slightly more blues than I play and slightly less yellows than I play, but I am totally okay with this. This is essentially what I've been playing. The extra hit and runs are like the only thing. And I guess technically, because we don't have the copper payoff, because we don't have access to blood on our hands, I don't have any of the Outland Skirmishes. But this Go Again base and the amount of Go Again in this deck is directly proportional to the amount of Go Again I have in my Kasai deck, because she is back-breakingly consistent. This is like Ira levels of consistency. Not quite, because Ira is stupid, but this is close. It's really close. So we play a very consistent game plan that has massive spike turns that people don't respect. We play all Blade Runners because we want a standard 2-card play of pitch a blue, swing a sword, Blade Runner, swing the sword that's buffed. Okay, that's what we want to do. We have the ability to do that off of the Blade Runners, off of Run Through as well. So we have 2, 4, 6, 8 of those attack react go agains. We have trot alongs as well, precision presses as well. And then we even run all the hit and runs. So we have the full hit and run suite. So we have more than half. Well, actually, it might be exactly half. Let's see, 6, 12, 14, 16, 18. It's almost half of the cards in our deck give us a go again. And then when we, of course, splash in, take it on the chins, our deck, half of our deck gives us go again. That is a huge deal for me. I am big on playing almost to up to half of my deck as like go again plus buff sources, which is why I like these cards. These are technically like, for example, Blade Runner is a 1 for 3, but you give go again, which means you get at least 1 point of value for that. So this is a 1 for 4. I like to look at this though as an enabler for the second swing and a pre-buff for the second swing. So this is very similar to playing like Sword Swing, pay an extra to play Sharpen Steel Sword Swing. Like that, when you think about it, this is basically just a Sharpen Steel that also gives go again to the first swing. This is way more valuable than I think people maybe give it credit for. So do keep that in mind as you're playing this deck. You can go less on some of these go again sources, but then in a low life scenario, you really do run the risk of just blowing yourself up from not being able to swing both swords. Okay, the rest of the deck is either pre-pumps or attack reactions. And that's what is great about this deck list and why I enjoy playing Kasai. We play double copies of Slice and Dice red and yellow because that card's good. I mean, this is a 0 for 4 and this is a 0 for 3, as long as you get the value. I am playing Sharpen Steel, something I don't necessarily play in Classic Constructed, but I feel like it makes total sense here. And with the less amount of power cards, because we don't have access to the Majestics like Unsheathed or, you know, any of her like kind of really big Majestics or Blade Flurry or anything like that, a 0 for 3 Sharpen Steel feels great. Stroke of Foresight is so freaking good. I had the yellows in here before the newer cards started getting released. This card is so stupidly good. It is not a 1 for 3. If they've blocked, it becomes even better. It becomes a 1 for 4, and it oftentimes can even find you an even better card for the arsenal, or a pre-pump. It can find you like Sharpen Steel, then you play Sharpen Steel, or it finds you a hit and run. You play hit and run and it becomes a you know, +3 buff, right? So this card is insane and it is almost worth playing more copies of. We of course play 2 in the swings, 2 Iron Song Response, and this card does come in or out based on the matchup. If you're playing against like Fi or something, you can swap this out. Maybe even Briar, but for a lot of the matchups that are slower or more mid-range, this card's great. It's fantastic. Maybe not against Rhinar, but you know, you can play it against a lot of heroes. And then outside of that, there are 3 new cards in this deck: Shove Off and Backside of the Blade. These obviously are just filler solid blues. Like, this is a fantastic card. I have not gotten to play it yet. I haven't needed to play it yet. I've just been winning, period. Just, you know, that's how you do. You just win. And Backside of the Blade seems like it would be pretty solid, but I haven't played it yet. Obviously, these cards aren't out yet, so I've gone down into the maybe section. Just play 2 Overpower and a Push Forward, you know, or 2 Push Forward and an Overpower, right? This gives Dominate, so you can finish the game. And of course, Overpower is just a casual 3 for 4. So it's not good on rate, but it's still pretty solid. Okay, so those are good options if you want to pivot. And of course, the reason this deck has gotten the glow up is we have access to Cash In. So we have the ability, after we've created a gold, to pop that gold off of Cash In, draw 2 cards. We are not just drawing 2 cards going up a card, we are also getting 2 resources to swing swords. So keep that in mind. Cash In gives us 2 cards. We go up a card in card economy, and we get 2 virtual resources. The card's nuts. It's so good. It's so good. In the sideboard, we have 2 Arcane Polarity, 2 Oasis Respite, and 2 Taken on the Chin. The Oasis and the Arcane are for arcane damage, and Taken on the Chin is really just a general purpose fantastic card. And to anyone that like does weird stuff, or if you want the extra prevention at instant speed, fantastic card. Into more aggressive matchups, or into matchup that you want to play you know, a little bit like more aggressively, you can throw in both copies of Draw Swords reds and yellows and feel fine with it. But I think most of the time I'm probably including Draw Swords yellows and Take It on the Chins. Draw Swords red's good, but I think if you feel comfortable racing like the deck that you're up against, that you feel like pretty good at that, like Briar, maybe you can splash these in, but I'm still considering just like running yellows, Draw Swords, and Take It on the Chin. And then Briar, you know, feels pretty good into that specific matchup. And sometimes you get there and sometimes they get there because Briar is just stupidly fast. We also have AB2. We have 11 blues. We could pitch into AB3 occasionally, but oftentimes you need that blue to have a functional turn. So we play AB2 and just call it a day from there. So what would this type of deck be good into? Well, this would be good if you were expecting to see Guardians that were trying to play slow games or mid-range games. This just kind of like rules the roost when it comes to mid-range games. This can play aggressively and it can play defensively. It would generally struggle against you know, Wizards because we only have AB2. We are very much respecting Wizards, and you kind of want to just change the way you play into Wizards, wherein you're trying to play super aggressively and then on the back of that aggression hang on to these prevention cards and maybe a yellow for AB2. Outside of that matchup, though, this can race just about everyone. Yes, this can race Briar. You can also just lose to Briar, and it's kind of just a coin flip to see who kind of gets there first, which isn't the most fun and engaging experience, but the fact that it does have the ability to put that much damage out against a deck that really just is the hallmark aggressive deck is a positive sign. So if you're looking to play something that did very much get a glow up thanks to cash in, the kinds of things that you can do with this card and with this deck and with this hero are very fun. So you should definitely give this one a shot. And if you want to see me play this against other people, like some Talishar gameplay or things like that, let me know that down in a comment below. I could go on and on about Casai. She's one of my top 3 favorite heroes in this entire game. And I could make a lot of videos about Casai, about Blaze, about Gravy Bones, and other pirates. So if this is one you'd want to see more of course, sound off down there. And if you like this type of content, you want to see more deck techs, make the number go to the other number. As always, everybody, thanks for watching.